For thousands of years, the Germanic tribes have fascinated historians and scholars alike. From the time of the Romans to the modern era, these ancient peoples have shaped the course of history in countless ways. Today, we will explore their origins, lifestyle, and impact on the world.us. The early Germanic tribes, or Germanic peoples, were a group of ancient peoples who lived in Northern Europe, primarily in what is now Germany, the Netherlands, Denmark, and the Nordic nations. They spoke a language called Proto-Germanic, which was the precursor to many modern Germanic languages such as English, Dutch, and German. The early Germanic tribes were known for their warlike nature, and many of them served as mercenaries in the Roman Empire. In fact, some of the most famous Roman generals of all time, such as Arminius and Alaric, were of Germanic descent. Despite their fierce reputation, the Germanic peoples were also skilled traders and craftsmen, and they had a deep-seated love of music, poetry, and storytelling. By the 5th century CE, the Germanic peoples began to migrate in large numbers, crossing the Rhine and the Danube rivers and spreading out into the rest of Europe. This led to numerous conflicts with the Romans, who were trying to maintain control of their empire. Eventually, the Germanic tribes were forced to settle in new areas, and they began to establish their own kingdoms and states. Today, the legacy of the early Germanic tribes lives on in the cultures and languages of Europe. The culture of modern England, Germany, the Netherlands, Denmark, and the Nordic nations also bear the mark of their Germanic ancestors, from their food and dress to their music and art. The early Germanic tribes have proven to be not only fascinating but also enduringly influential, and their legacy continues to shape the world around us to this day. In addition to their warring tendencies, the early Germanic tribes were also known for their agriculture. They practiced a type of farming called slash and burn agriculture, where they would clear a patch of land by cutting down trees and burning them, creating a fertile soil in which to plant crops. They also raised cattle and pigs, and they used the milk and cheese produced by their livestock as a source of food and energy. The early Germanic tribes were also skilled craftsmen and artists. They were skilled weavers, and they produced a wide variety of textiles, from clothing to blankets and rugs. They also made tools and weapons from metal and stone, and they created beautiful jewelry and other small works of art. They used decorative patterns and images in many of their creations, including runes, which were a type of written language used in ancient Germanic cultures. Of course, the early Germanic tribes are also known for their warrior culture. They were formidable fighters, and many of them served as mercenaries in the Roman army. They wore leather and metal armor, and they carried a variety of weapons, including swords, spears, and axes. They fought on foot and on horseback, and they were skilled in both individual and group combat. Finally, the early Germanic tribes were known for their love of music and storytelling. They passed down their myths and legends through stories and poems, which were recited by their poets and bards. They also played a variety of musical instruments, including horns and drums, and they used music to accompany their dances and rituals. Their love of music and poetry continues to influence the cultures of Northern Europe today, from the folk music and poetry of Germany and the Netherlands to the pop and rock music of modern Swedish, English, and Norwegian artists. In the end, the early Germanic tribes played a crucial role in the development of European culture and history. Their warrior culture and skills in agriculture and craftsmanship helped them to establish their own kingdoms and states, and their love of music and storytelling continues to influence the cultures of Northern Europe to this day. Whether we are studying history or appreciating the arts, the legacy of the early Germanic tribes continues to inspire and fascinate us.